Happy Friday! Welcome, Kletus Roadside Service. We've been doing some stuff today. I am completely covered in fucking mud and sand and shit right now. Because the tanker job, we did that yesterday, but it ended up only being a half day worth of work for it. Not sure why, but well, I do know why, and I could get into it, but I don't feel like it right at this specific moment. Today I showed up to the shop at 7. Didn't have much going on. They said I was going to be working on some potholes at the shop, so I figured dump truck, getting rock, running skid steer, just kind of hanging out at the shop, doing the thing, because our job. We were scheduled to go on our job, and then we didn't know until yesterday, halfway through it, that we weren't going to be going on it. But yeah, so that's not what we ended up doing so far. We got a guzzler up and ready to go, but it's one of them guzzlers. It's got the big arm on the top, so we can just use the boom and then we have a little remote control that we can use to run the arm and make the arm go up and down, in and out, and everything. And we're looking for water lines on our property because I guess whenever the city was looking at our water consumption and was like, "Man, you guys are using a fuckload of water," and so plumb, whenever you turn on the water that goes down to one of our other buildings, it's got a couple of bathrooms down there. There's nothing, we don't really need water down there, but I think you're required to have restrooms or something. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on, but whenever they turn the water on, even though it should be deadheading, like there shouldn't be any water running down there, we're getting water down there, but they say the water, it's still flowing. So there's a break in the line somewhere, and it's just flowing and flowing and flowing no matter what. I hear something fucking dangling. All right, yeah, I don't know. I got something fucking ringing up here, and I got a phone call, right? Oh man, traffic, traffic for sure. Yeah, I had a guy. He's like, "Oh man, I don't have any paperwork, and I just dumped all this stuff. What do I need to do?" I'm like, "You don't have paperwork? Well, that's not good. You need to have paperwork, man." So I gave him another guy's number to call to get the. I'm like, "Hey, I just pushed it all off on somebody else. Is what I did." Um, rode the bike today. Uh, there's a crash up here. There's construction and a crash. I wonder if anybody's gonna let me in since I'm just a day cab. I ain't gonna take up too much room. Um, yeah, this is not good. It's just traffic. I'm sorry for the dead air. I'm trying to. I was getting right back into the conversation and I fucking started thinking. Um, rode the bike today. Everything went well, and Dodge does not want to let me in. I don't think. Oh, he's gonna let me in. Um, Everything went well. Rode in everything. Bike rode really good. This morning, well, last night I got home at a kind of a decent time, and before I ate dinner, I grabbed the bike because I drove the truck yesterday because I thought it was going to rain. I really should have rode the bike yesterday also, but I thought it was going to rain, and I saw the rain looked like looked like it might rain again today, and it really looks like it's going to rain. But I was like, fuck it, I'm riding the bike. I don't give a shit. Um, but I rode it around the neighborhood and out onto a little bit of a higher speed road, not on the highway or anything, but I just took it out and I noticed my one of my blinkers was loose, so I made sure to tighten that up before I took off today. And I got new blinkers showing up tonight, which is great because I have two blinkers that I taped up, and a guy at work was fucking with my bike and he leaned up against it and broke my other blinker, the one that wasn't broken all the way, the one that was actually going to be a kind of decent. And he fucking leaned up on it and bent it and it popped off. I'm like, God damn it. So now I don't know. Look, it's the one on the exhaust side is the one that's majorly broken and it's all taped up, but it's nice and tight. I have it held on with vice grips. I mean, that's where I store my vice grips. That's not holding the it's not holding the blinker on. The blinker is just fine. I just where I put my vice grips and I hold them on there. Wink, wink. But the I got a new set of blinkers coming, which is going to be wonderful. I'm glad to get those. Um, Man, yeah, they got this guy got fucked up over here. I don't know how they crashed all the way over there. They rolled that fucking Honda. I have no idea how they lost it on around that corner. Um, so yeah, I got two broken blinkers on the rear. I guess I should have put them on the front because the front blinkers are the ones that are probably not going to get hit as much. The ones on the rear, but I'm going to put brand new ones on the rear, and I don't know. I'm hoping that because these are the original blinkers, so I think they're just old and they're breaking and stuff, and so I'll probably eventually swap out the front ones also. But as of right now, I'm just gonna replace the rear. The front ones are fine. I'd like to just keep the originals if I could, but and yep, the new fender is on there, nice and tight. It's all good. I need a spitter. Gotta fucking re-inflate a bottle over here. Fucking texting me and shit. So get to work today. We get the guzzler out and we're doing hydro excavating. They want to find the water lines because we have a broken water line somewhere. Saying they thought that the water lines ran right next to the sewer line, which would make sense. Which where you can see they added concrete, but we dug down 10 feet and we could not find it. So that's not good. We found the sewer line. The sewer line was about 3 feet deep, and we dug all the way down 10 feet, and we no water line. Because I was like, man, why are you keep digging? There's a line right there. He's like, that's the sewer line. We're looking for the water line. I'm like, oh. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess we just keep going down until we find it. We got down 10 feet, and then one of the other bosses or whatever came up, and he's like, yeah, it ain't there. It runs somewhere else. Let's look around, and we found another area. And the other two guys put on suits. I guess I should have put on a suit, but I got completely blasted with hydroblasting stuff. And then I'm the one guy that's not in a suit, but for some reason I'm the guy that had to get down in the hole whenever we had big rocks, because big rocks won't fit in the guzzler hose. So I don't know why I was the one going down in the fucking hole. A guy in a suit with boots on and everything should have been the guy going down in there. But I was like, sure, I'll go down there, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I planned on getting dirty today. Not a big deal. And then we were trying to remove some concrete, but we don't want to just pound out the concrete and break it all into fucking bullshit. We want to. There were some relief cuts, but they weren't all the way through, obviously. So we had to. I got the saw out, the concrete saw, and started to cut. And I got 1.5 lines cut. And then they're like, "Hey, we need you," because I'm the only Class A guy at the shop, I guess. I don't know. They're like, "We need you to take a truck over and save this guy." We've been having guys with PTOs going out all over the place. I don't know what the hell's going on. PTOs are just going out left and right. I know why. It's because some of our trucks were switching over to a different method of PTO where we don't run the tank, and then some guys are using the tank, and then most of the trucks you run the PTO the same way on all the trucks, but some of them are a little bit different, and I don't know. We're just burning PTOs out of trucks like crazy. Not good. And then I found out. You remember what I think last episode I was talking about training that girl how to drive a manual. Yeah, she fucking ruined the clutch in that truck. So that clutch they have to pull the transmission and do a clutch job on it. He's like, "You were the last one in it." I'm like, hey, I was the last one in it, but I promise you, I was not the one that fucking ruined the clutch. It was a girl. She's learning. He's like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna be able to run a manual. We might as well just get her auto restrict and just deal with it because she can drive, but doing the manual stuff, maybe if she can learn later on, but for right now, nah, just get her auto restrict. She can still drive a truck. She'll still be a good employee like that, but yeah, right now I'm going to save this guy. I got another truck with a good PTO. I'm going to save the guy with the truck with the bad PTO. But I'm first before I just swap out trucks. I'm gonna try his out and see what we can do with it. There's a little kid slide over here. Oh, Marie, that's her name. I was trying to think of her name. Martha. I was like, no, it's not Martha. The lady up here at the landfill. I was talking to a guy about her the other day. I was like, me and her get along. Nobody else gets along with her, but I do. Hello. What are you doing? Oh, just gonna swap out a truck real quick. It's gonna weigh probably exactly the same. Yeah, we're gonna swap out 164 with this one, which is 165. They're the same truck. I just pulled up here to say I'm pulling in. Yeah, the other truck's down there at he can't get it to work, so we're just gonna give him a new truck. All right, see you later. That's Marie. She's such she's a sunny sky on a cloudy day. That's what she is. I love her. She's just awesome. Um, yeah. So plans. This is Friday, man. We're Fridaying it up. I gotta work tomorrow morning. I gotta haul trash. Not too worried about that. I'm just gonna do that early in the day, and then I'm hoping that I get some time to go out riding. I just want to cruise around. I just want to have nowhere to go. I want to go on a little bit of a trip. I don't want to go like highways and stuff. I want to just kind of take some back roads and just, you know, see if my wife will let me have a couple of hours to myself to just ride around, chill out, relax. He's already got the truck disconnected. Um, Let me pause here and I'll be back. All right, now we're swapped out. This guy's wild as fuck. I told him just leave the fucking doors open. I just had to hop out. He wanted me to check his PTO, make sure it was working. He's running the walk-in floor trailer, so but I opened up his doors and I hooked them and everything. I was like, "Hey man, if they haven't fallen out, then I wouldn't even fucking just leave your doors open and go down there, back up to your hole, turn the PTO on, and you don't even have to get out of the truck for anything." But he just came over here and closed the fucking doors. Whatever. If he wants to do extra work and walk another 48 fucking feet, go for it, dude. Uh, I am just taking this truck back to the shop. I'm going to let the mechanics park it for the mechanics, let them look at it. And be good. Get the hell out of here. I think he needs to talk to me again. No, he does not. All right. We're going to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's a squirrely dude. He's been having a tough time out here, though. So, oh my goodness. There is a beautiful woman out here. Well, I did not expect to see a beautiful woman out here, that's for sure. We're, yeah, so I'm hoping tonight I can get a little bit of time or not tonight, well, maybe even tonight, depending on, I guess the weather was saying it's supposed to get kind of nice out, so maybe these clouds will move out. Even if they don't move out, if I can still go out and ride, I want to practice. I just want to get more used to riding a bike because still leaning to turn, because I used to ride dirt bikes and stuff, but that just was different than being on the road. I want to get on some curvy roads and try it out, and that are slower paced. Um, and just get used to riding on the road a little bit. Maybe do some pulls out on the road. Um, Today I got up to I think almost 80. I just kind of let her rip, see what I could do. But I did notice because I haven't been paying attention to my analog gauge, and I'm wondering if my analog gauge isn't going to be correct. I might remove it and then try. Well, maybe not remove it, but get the cable off of there and then see what I need to do to cap it off or whatever I got to do. Because I have a digital speedometer, and I just ordered a new pouch for my phone. So, and I'll just throw on Google Maps, and then it'll give me a good speed. But if I can get rid of that speedometer, that might be something I'd like to do. Just get rid of the speedometer, or just leave the speedometer mounted and then kind of mount my digital to it, so I can get the digital taken off of the handlebars, because right now it's just kind of mounted to the handlebars. It looks good where it's at. I got it mounted a little bit higher, and instead of having it hanging down, it's hanging up, so it's a lot better. and it's got some actual, because my whoever put it on there, either my grandpa or my brother, or I guess it could be the fuck guy that had it before him, because I saw somebody else's name on some receipts for some parts. So I'm guessing my grandpa got it from somebody else. But anyways, whoever mounted that thing on there just wrapped up a bunch of electrical tape around the top part of the handlebars, the cross brace, and used that to kind of keep them out. But it was still loose. Like it would still wobble down. And I could have just added more electrical tape, but I was like, I got some. It was tool toolbox drawer padding is what I got. I got a giant roll, not a giant roll, but I have a big ass roll of fucking toolbox padding inserts or whatever that I can cut to whatever size. And it's just like thin foam, but it's perfect thickness to wrap around that little bar underneath the clamps and keep it nice and tight. And then also that crossbar was wobbly as fuck, and I did not like that. So I took one of the bolts out and I found a little tiny rubber O-ring, and I put that in between the clamp, and now that bar doesn't rattle. Because yeah, you would just be riding down the road and you'd hear it rattling and stuff. And I don't know. I'm gonna try to eliminate all the rattling I possibly can. But uh, I would also prefer to remove the speedometer, but I don't know if it's a GPS or what it is. But I'd like to remove that speedometer because it's got that big cable that comes down the side of the forks on the opposite side of the brakes, and it's like sticking out. And there was a little grab bar or a little O-ring mount that cable would go through that was mounted to the original fender. And I tried to take it off. I didn't try very hard, but I did try to take it off, and the the threads are a little fucked up on the end of that screw. So I just left it. I just was like, I don't need it. The cable isn't going to be bouncing everywhere, and it's mounted in a couple other spots, but it's sticking out, and I'd rather I have ways that I could make it get mounted to where I want it to be mounted, but I'm like, I'd like to just get rid of it, you know. I want to try to remove as much wiring as I can. I mean, I need a lot of wiring, but I'd like to remove stuff that's not important to me. Which the digital speedometer or the odometer and the speedometer, the manual, analog, whatever you want to call it. That's the only reason I would want to keep it is because of the odometer. But if it's reading, because it was saying I was doing like 85, and my digital was saying 75. So I wonder if it's reading the wrong speed, then the odometer might not be. I don't think I need an odometer. You know what the and on the I don't know if that's illegal to remove it or whatever, but on the title it's just got a star at the mileage. There's just a star there. It says mileage exempt. So because it's so old. Not sure. Every title I have is mileage exempt. None of them matter. Mileage exceeds whatever it is. I don't know. But that one thing, it's only got 28,000 miles on it, which I guess is a lot. But from 1999 to now, it's only seen 30,000 miles, or not even 30,000 miles. So, but that's a that's a decent amount of miles. I would much rather just have an hour meter, but how am I supposed to tell how many hours it's got? I guess the best way to do that would be pull the engine, do a full rebuild, and then like all new bushings and everything, like completely rebuild the bike back to bare bones, and then put a new hour meter on it, and then like with new tires and everything, maybe even new spokes, all that good shit. Just rebuild it back to like a fresh bike. But because the hour meters are kind of handy. Like, okay, these bushings have this many hours on them, and I think hours is, I guess mileage is better because it doesn't record idle time, but the engine movement is good because you don't know how much you're idling, and 5 miles through the woods is much more taxing on the engine and components than 5 miles on the road. So I don't know. I also don't really care. I don't care to know the mileage. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get pulled over and a cop is going to be like, you don't have an odometer. You're fucking going to jail. I don't think that's going to happen. Um, like nobody's ever going to look at the bike anyways, other than for inspections. So maybe I'll call my guy that does inspections, and I'll just ask him what he thinks about it. I'll be like, hey, the speedometer it's off, but I have a digital. If I remove the analog that's got the odometer, are you going to be able to inspect it? Because I don't know if it has to have an odometer to be inspected, but obviously he writes down on his little paper the mileage. But if it doesn't have one, then he's got to leave it blank, or I'll just tell him to just write down just write down whatever. It don't matter. Doesn't matter what you write down. Just write down fucking. I know it was 29, so just make it more than that. But I don't know. We'll get into all that later on. Right now, I don't know. It's almost noon. I'm gonna go back to the shop. I might take the bike out, go to a burrito spot down the road, grab me a little quick bite, come back to the shop, and then help them excavate some more shit. But they could be fucking done by the time I get there. But I don't know what the end goal of doing this excavation at the job at our shop is. We're just looking for where the water lines are, and then we want to excavate them all, the whole thing, I guess, until we find out where the connections are, so we can see where all this water's going, you know. But I mean, I guess if the water's always got pressure and it's got a leak, it's not going to leach too much dirt because the sink and the toilets in that lower building where the water goes, it's always been clear. You would think you would notice something, but I don't know. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear. I believe I'll be off by 3 today, which I would prefer. Um, and then yeah, I got a new. It's not a tank bag. It's just a little phone holder. It's a magnetic phone holder. It's like a little pouch, and I'm hoping that my wallet will fit in there, and my phone, my wallet, my phone, my insurance, I got all that shit on my phone too, but uh, I need all my registration and shit like that. Like to have all that on the bike, and I don't know how much I want to trust these magnets. So there is a big ass magnet at the shop, and I do have another little, like, pretty strong magnet at the house, and then I can also get a bag of little the little magnets and try to get them on there. But it's got a little loop thing that you can tie. And I talked about it once before. I'm going to tie that. I'm just going to kind of put a loop around the gas cap, take the gas cap off, put the loop around the gas cap, and then put the gas cap and lock it on the bike, and then it should be good, right? I mean, that thing, if the little bag holding my phone that weighs less than a pound falls off, it's not going to have enough pressure to yank off the fucking gas cap, especially if it's locked on and needs a key to be removed. But, and I found out I do have a turn lock. So, like, you can turn the handlebars and lock the handlebars, sideways or whichever way you want. I didn't realize, I saw it on there last night when I was messing with it. And I was like, oh shit, I can lock my steering on this bike, which is handy because if people try to steal it and the handlebars aren't locked, it's way easier for them to just put it in neutral and roll it and get it in the back of the truck. But if the steering wheel is turned, and it's a pretty heavy bike, they're gonna have trouble pushing that thing in the back of a truck or in a straight line or anything. It'll just keep going in circles. And I talked to my uncle because he's big into riding, and he rode with my grandpa on that bike a lot. And I guess he had a Honda dual sport at one point in time. And I just started off the conversation by, I was like, hey man, what tires would you recommend? And he's like, I like the tires you got right now. Those are great on the road. And I'm like, well, see, I do like them on the road. It is nice to have street tires on the street. They are nice and grippy. They're not cheap. They're decent tires. The problem I have is I don't want to just be on this fucking street, I want to be able to hit the fucking trails a little bit. Not like crazy trails. I don't want knobbies. Obviously, knobbies, you can ride them on the road, but you're gonna chew them up, and they're gonna be useless. By the time you hit the trail, they're gonna be fucking worn out. Like with it less than 1,000 miles, they'll be worn out. So I was just like, hey, you probably know, you like to do adventure riding and stuff. What's a good like trail tire that's also not gonna just get chewed up on the road? And he's like, I like the tires you got. And I'm like, I don't though. they're straight up smooth tires with cuts in it. There's not, and that's just water relief cuts. There's no knob to them at all. So as soon as I get out on a trail or whatever, I mean, I can lower the air pressure down and give me a little bit more, uh, uh, bend to the wheel or not to the wheel, but to the tire to go over rocks and stuff and give me a little bit more traction. And I found some, and they're from the same company. They're the same brand tire that I got now, but these are like actual dual sport tires. Like they say dual sport or enduro or whatever, and they look knobby. They got a lot of cuts in them and everything, but I'm like, these look really good. And he's like, I ran them. He's like, those are a budget tire though. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't even look at the price. I think I could get a front and rear tire for like $130. Is that shipped? Probably not. So I don't know if I want to. I don't know if those are the ones I'm going to go with. They just seemed like they were good on the road, And that's if I have to spend $130 between oil changes, I don't think that's a big deal. And then I also have the street tires I can always have. But I don't think I mean I do like the street tires, but I just don't think those are going to be my personality. Because I want to be able to ride down the road, see a trail, and hit a trail. There's two guys beating the shit out of each other over there. There are two guys beating. One guy had nunchucks. The other guy had a rock. I don't know. Two fucking hobos beating the shit out of each other on the side of the road. That's fucking insane. That's why I wasn't talking. I was just fucking staring at. I honked a couple times to see if I could scare them off. I don't want anybody getting hurt out here, but it is entertaining. I saw a bunch of guys up against the fence at this other company right here. They're all staring at the fucking hobos, and then another semi driver. I saw him pull up his phone. He's like, "No, fuck, film it." Fuck. Maybe I should have sat in that line a little longer. Oh, fuck. I don't want to see somebody get fucking knocked in the head and knocked out and fucking stabbed or shot. I don't know. Obviously, those guys don't have guns, or else they would have fucking pulled them out by now. But I don't need to see that shit. I'll fucking just get the fuck out of the way. And I also, I don't know. I honked, but I'm like, I'll fucking run if they fucking come after my ass. I'm in a fucking semi. I'll be gone. I could drive faster than you could run, motherfucker. That's for sure. You could throw nunchucks at me, but hey, that's exciting. Back to tires. Back to tires. So I don't know if anybody listening is into dual sport or even dirt biking and stuff. You know, if you think you know of a good tire, and or just post it up on the Facebook group and say, hey, I think these tires would be good, and I'll check them out. I'm not trying to spend like $500 on fucking dirt bike tires. That's not what I'm trying to do, you know. But I don't know. My uncle, he's like, no, man, those tires you got are gonna be probably best for all around. And on the website, when you look, it says that they're good for 80% on road and 20% off road. But I'm like, these don't look like they're good for fucking nothing. I also thought about getting a tire cutter. It's like a piece of metal that has electrodes to it, and it gets warm or it gets hot as fuck, and you can cut tires. I see people do it on like boggers and shit all the time. And I was like, maybe I could. I don't want to fuck them up, and it's gonna take a long fucking time. But maybe I could just put a couple more cuts in these tires to give them a little bit more knobs. I don't know. So, anyways, but I'm back at the shop, so I'm gonna let you go. Keep all 18 down. Adios. We'll talk to you later. Oh fuck! Come on, phone. It won't unlock. There we go. Adios. Welcome to Truckers and Others. Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. You know, whatever you want to call it. You know, since we went through the name change, it used this for new listeners out there. We used to be Truckers and Others over here, and then I, for some odd reason, just decided, you know what, I want to change it because I ain't got no others on here. So it ain't really Truckers and Others. It's just trucker, me, and I'm not even a trucker all the time. Well, it seems like a lot of time lately I've been a fucking bullshit motherfucker doing bullshit all around the fucking place. Okay, not trucking, that's for sure. I've been a trainer. I've been training people every fucking day. Today is Saturday. Finally, I get to go out on a job by myself and just do the fucking job without telling people how to do it. I like, I don't mind training people. Like, people need to learn, but I also want to not train people every fucking day. I want to be able to just go out and do my job. But it's Saturday, pretty cold out. I mean, it's not cold when you walk outside in 52-degree weather. It's not cold when you walk outside. But when you get on a motorcycle and you just like, I'll just wear a long sleeve today. And you hop on the highway and you're like, damn, this is kind of cold. My nipples are fucking on fire right now. They're ripping through the wind. Yeah. But Hey, everything worked out fine. I made it to work. I'm getting more. I don't want to scare like my wife. I don't want to say, "Oh, I'm way more confident on the highway now." I don't want to say that to her. I just say I feel like I have a lot more experience, and the highway isn't as scary of a place now. Even though I've only been on the highway like 4 or 5 times now, now that I know what to expect, and I know that, all right, if a semi is going to be in front of me, I just need to get the fuck around him and get ahead of him, because or else I'm going to be behind him, just getting wind fucking slapped the whole time. I guess you could technically ride right up to the back of the semi, but you don't want to ride too close to people. But yeah, I don't like being next to any big vehicles just because of the wind coming off of them. It's not that I'm scared I'm going to get underneath that trailer and then get run over and be dead forever. It's not. That's kind of scary, but not too scary. The the more scary part is getting wind blown into the other lane unexpectedly. And I haven't been wind blown a whole bad yet. It hasn't been horrible, but it has been like blowing my body, and it feels like you're riding sideways in a straight line, which is kind of, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I took yesterday. I decided not to take the highway on my way home. I was like, I'm gonna take this little road. It's like 35 mile an hour with a bunch of stop signs and stuff. I was chewing, so that's what I wanted to do. And I like riding a motorcycle. The longer I can sit on the seat of the motorcycle and ride around, the more happy I'm gonna be, I think. So I took a longer way, a slower way home, and I could also stop at stop signs and spit out my helmet. Because I mean, you're not doing that on the highway unless you just don't care what you look like. You just spit right onto the bottom of your neck, and it just fucking eventually most of it'll fly off in the wind, and then whatever doesn't fly off will dry and crust up on your neck. I don't know. I have not tried to spit on the highway quite yet, but I was thinking about developing some sort of a tube system, that I can. I don't know. I don't know. Because I want to have best of both worlds, which is chewing tobacco all day like I do, and riding a motorcycle. Now the helmet kind of pushes up on your cheeks, so having some chewing is kind of, I don't know. You just might as well just swallow the fucking shit, because you're not gonna find a good way to do it unless you have a stop sign. You can open up your visor, grab your face mask, pull it down, and spit. But then people are like, "What the fuck did he just do? He's leaking oil." I got my mirrors set to a better spot, a more comfortable spot, because I had them set where I thought I liked them, but I actually don't like them where they were, so I moved them around a little bit. Now the only thing is, like, if you take your hand off the handlebars, you go to put your hand back on. I have them kind of low, so a lot of times I'll hit the mirror, but at least I know where I want it now. So while I'm riding down the highway or whatever, I can just reach up real quick, move my mirror, and be good. But before, I was like moving the whole bracketry and everything, just like, I'm like, I don't know where I want to be able to see fucking cars behind me from both sides of the mirror, but I don't know which one. And I've been favoring my right side mirror lately. I don't know, the one over the above the throttle. I just like, that's the mirror I look at the most. I don't know why, but that's my favorable mirror. I I've been looking at like other people's setups and stuff, and they sometimes have a mirror slung down underneath the handlebars, and that's just to be legal, really, because I don't know what the fuck you're seeing other than your fucking love handles with the mirror on the inside down, but you have a mirror, so I guess you're legal. But I don't know. And I could remove one. I could just run one mirror. I just have to have one. I don't think I have to have a set. But I'm a new rider, so for a while I'm gonna keep all the safety equipment up on there, and then figure out what I'm doing with my life after that. But road to work today, I think I hit my top speed was like 85. So I am getting a little bit more comfortable on there. And the only reason I did 85 is because there was like a string of semis. And I was like, I'm going to fucking shoot around all these motherfuckers. I mean, not shoot around them. 85 really isn't a whole lot faster than what they were doing. They were doing 73 or whatever. So, I mean, I wasn't passing them like flying past them or anything, but I was going around them. And also my blinkers, the left side rear blinker, a guy at work leaned up against my bike. He was trying to pick it up. I don't know. He was picking it up to move the rear tire around. He was like, I wonder how heavy this thing is. And he leaned up against it, fucking bent the blinker up, and then picked up the ass end of the bike. He's like, that thing's kind of heavy. I'm like, yeah, it's a 650, and you just broke my fucking mirror. He's like, oh no. We got it put back together the way it's supposed to be. Surprisingly, I was kind of shocked we got it to be back to where it was, but so I think he twisted. He was like, I'll fix it. So he took it off and he was messing with it for a while, and I think he twisted one of the wires or something because now it doesn't blink. And I plugged it in, unplugged it, plugged it in, unplugged it, and I don't know. Somewhere along the line, the wiring is a little messed up. So my left side blinker, all I have is the front blinker. Now the front blinker isn't near as important as the rear blinker because I need people behind me to know that I'm shifting lanes. People in front of me, I'm going to be passing you most likely. You don't. I don't know. So, but I haven't. I guess today when I get back to the shop, I might swap the front mirror to the rear. So, or not the mirror, the blinker. Swap it over so I feel a little bit more comfortable switching lanes and stuff. And today I've been trying to use hand signals and stuff. And I guess a lot of people, they just remove all their blinkers and just use hand signals. But I'm not to that point. I like the blinkers. I like them. I think they look kind of cool too. The stock ones, not the new little ones my brother got. I like the stock blinkers. And I ordered a fucking set, and they were supposed to show up. I was waiting for them. I felt like the Amazon driver was going to be right around the corner, and then all of a sudden it said, oh, there's a delay. You'll get them in like a couple of days. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I got my bag, my magnetic bag for my phone. I got that. And I took it out, and then I realized there's nowhere for that to go on my tank. Because the seat rides all the way up the tank to the gas cap. So they're right in front of my legs, right in my crotch area. That's where I thought I was going to have my phone, so I could just like glance down at my maps and GPS, whatever. Because I didn't want to mount it to the handlebars. And luckily, I only spent $12 on this little magnetic case, which is handy. And like I predicted, I throw the loop around the gas cap, pull it a little bit so it snugs in there. And it ain't coming off, plus magnet it to the side of the tank. And then I guess I just kind of got to put it on there straight, and then I can swing it off to the side and magnet it to the side of the tank. So if I do need to look at my phone for anything, I can just grab it off the side of the tank, set it in between my legs, and it's not going to fall off because it's tied off. But it's kind of cool because with gloves on, in the case, you can still operate your phone. Now, you're clicking all kinds of shit you don't want to click, but you can click stuff. And it's a clear plastic, so you can see everything on it, too. So, I'm happy with the purchase. I think what that's mainly going to be, I'm going to tie it to the back rack or leave it on the tank. I don't know. But I'm going to mainly just put documentation, like my wallet and a can of chew in there, and just leave it magneted somewhere so I have, the items that I might want to grab kind of quickly. And then I have my backpack on, but like yesterday, I was like trying to reach in my backpack, like looking all cool at the gas pump. I was trying to just reach back there, unzip, and reach in and grab my wallet. I could not find my fucking wallet. I lost it in there. I could not find. I had to, pull all this shit out of my fucking backpack, get off the bike, everything, just to find my wallet. And I'm like, I really need to get that fucking little bag so I can put my wallet right there. So I pull up to the gas pumps. It's a quick operation. I'm in and out in like a minute. And I almost ran out of gas yesterday also. So I don't know. I just kind of figured I would have enough gas to probably make it home after work yesterday, because I've only put gas in it one time, and I think I reset the odometer before I kind of took off. So I've done over like 100 miles, and the thing was running out of gas. Luckily, it only takes like 2.3 liters or something. I don't know what the fuck Japanese metric whatever system they use, but anyways, it doesn't hold a whole lot of fuel, so it gets great gas mileage, but you got to keep filling it up. So, which I don't mind it. I think I talked about it once before. I don't mind going to the gas station. It's kind of fun to just run to the gas station, especially since it's not like a car. You got to park it, you got to get your wallet out, you got to walk all the way around your car or whatever, and then do it, and then get back in, fire it back up. This is a motorcycle. You just roll up, hit the fucking kill switch, and card, boop, boop, boop. What is this fucking thing beeping at me so much for? This fucking truck keeps beeping at me a whole bunch. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong. So anyways, it's a lot of fun. Love riding the bike. Can't wait to get off work today and ride it again and take probably an extra long way home. I don't know. Just kind of maybe even call up my brother, see what he's up to. Maybe we go for a quick little ride or something. Or anybody else that I know. I don't really know a whole lot of motorcycle riders. I know a few guys at work, but they're all on like Harleys and stuff, and I don't think I'm gonna fit in with. I mean, you can ride it with whoever you want, but it would be really cool to get a couple of these other supermoto guys. Well, I don't know. Supermoto guys are like out doing wheelies and shit all the time, and I'm like, nope, not doing wheelies, and I'm not going fast. I want to find some dual sport guys to go out riding with, because I don't think dual sport guys are really. I think they're probably pretty good on the roads. Like they don't. I feel like out of all the motorcycles that get pulled over, I feel like a dual sport getting pulled over is lower on the totem pole. Street bikes, Harleys, scooters, and fucking little Groms and shit. And then in supermotos, I guess, then dual sport, just like that's a dirt bike on the road. That guy is a fat guy. He looks like a nerd. He's probably not doing anything wrong. He's just, and this is all, I just developed all of this knowledge just out of nowhere in my own brain right now. This is not something that I've looked up. But I don't know. I feel like dual sport guys are pretty good. Responsible on the road, I would say. Anyways, almost ran out of gas, filled it up, and yeah, because it was like dying. You could tell it was almost dying, but luckily on those motorcycles they have a reserve, and what that is there's a little valve on the bottom of your fuel tank, and it's got off, reserve, and on. And reserve are two different pipes inside that fuel tank where you're letting fuel go down into the carb. The on is the long one. And then, so if you run out of gas, you can flip it over to reserve and it'll start pulling from the reserve one, which is the short one, and you get a little bit of extra gas to run your bike, usually straight to a gas station, because that's still not a lot of fuel. And you can also lay the bike over on its side and kind of try to get some of the gas from the other side to swap over to your side. But it's really the way they design these tanks to not really do that a whole lot. But that is another little method you could do. Some people run a dual petcock tank, which is kind of handy, especially for tanks that sit a little bit lower, because they saddle that frame of that dirt bike. But I'm now, since I almost ran out, I'm really I like the stock tank. I think it looks great. I would love to get one of those newer, deeper, like, it's like a, not 5 gallon, but it's like a 3.5 to 4 gallon tank. And you get a lot more mileage out of that, and they look cool because they look like more of a motocross tank, but they're actually just bigger, because motocross tanks have plastics, like a plastic shroud. And this, I don't have a plastic shroud on mine, it's just a metal tank. But with that bigger tank, they styled it to look kind of like a plastic shroud, and I guess it does kind of act like a shroud. But I don't know, I just recently saw a guy complaining about his bigger fuel tank because he doesn't like the way it rides with it on there. I don't know, he must be a light fellow. Must be pretty fucking light, because I don't think another gallon of fuel, which, how much does a gallon of fuel weigh? 8 pounds? Less than that, because gas is lighter than water. So, like, I don't think 8 pounds really makes a whole lot of difference, but whatever. You could probably sit further back on your bike and you would more evenly distribute the weight. But also, extreme bum fighting. I saw some extreme bum fight on the side of the road. Yesterday I was on my way back to the shop. What? Oh yeah, I had to go save a guy, and no, I talked about it. There's an extreme bum fight. I think I talked about it already, because I was like, I'm not talking because there's bums over here fighting. Yeah, I already talked about it. That was fucking exciting. So what happened is I ended the episode and I went back to the shop, and I only told like one person about it. And then it was lunchtime. So I hopped on the bike and went over to the burrito place, which is right next to where the bums were fighting. And there was an ambulance, a fire truck, a police car, and then even further down the road, there was even like 3 more police cars. So I'm like, holy shit, somebody called on them. And I just went into the burrito place, and there's a bunch of other guys in there wearing high vis. I'm like, did y'all see that bum fight out there? They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I drove through here earlier. There's a bum fight, and now there's a bunch of police cars and ambulance. And they're like, oh, we have no idea. I'm like, oh shit. All right, well, a guy had a fucking nunchuck with him, and he was beating the shit out of another bum. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. They're like, was he skilled with the nunchucks? I'm like, no, he wasn't. But you don't want to get near. You still don't want to get close to him. He probably hit himself in the head a couple of times. But for the most part, he didn't know what he was doing. He was just swinging that motherfucker around. All right, now we're here at the plant where I need to grab the trash trailer, and I'm hoping the trash trailer, it looks like it's still inside the building. Yeah, it's not been pulled out yet. Yeah, I think it's still stuck in there. All right, well, I got to make a couple phone calls, and I don't know. I think I covered all of my bases here. Well, another little note is I haven't listened to podcasts at all lately. I haven't listened to the news. I don't know anything of anything what's going on. I've just been focusing on me, the family, and my new toys. So I haven't been, I went through all my Joe Rogan podcasts, and usually that's the one that I keep up on, and even Tim Dillon. I keep up on Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon was on Joe Rogan, and I still haven't even listened to that episode. Okay, that's like my Goldilocks fucking episode right there. Is Tim Dillon on Joe Rogan, and I haven't even listened to that yet. Um, I'm like 11 episodes behind of Joe Rogan. So I'm excited that I have a lot of content. I always be able to find a good podcast to listen to right now for the next 30 hours or whatever of listening that I can do. But I just haven't had time, and I don't know. I could put earbuds in and ride the motorcycle, but it's kind of uncomfortable. So I just run it with nothing, and I want to be able to hear, and also trying to operate earbuds on a motorcycle. If you get a song you don't really like, I have the phone in the thing, but unless it's like sitting there ready to go, I don't know. So I just haven't been doing any of that stuff, but I'll try to catch up on some of that stuff and just see what's been going on with the world today. Other than that, keep all 18 down. Adios. Have a wonderful night. Adios.